I'm Rob Thomas with Club and Resort Business, and this is the Club and Resort Talks podcast. Today's podcast is sponsored by Southern Pride. Southern Pride was founded in 1976 when Mike Robertson and his father, BB, hand-built and marketed their first rotisserie smoker. Today, nearly 26,000 smokers later, Southern Pride fabricates and assembles every smoker by hand in their 117,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Alamo, Tennessee. Learn more at southernpride.com. With that taken care of, I would generally throw it over to Phil Cairn for some news. But Phil is no longer with us, unfortunately, so I'll have to handle those duties myself. Phil, if you're watching, you'll be missed terribly, terribly. I will say no more playful banter, but I did ask AI to create a version of myself for a recent column, and I gotta say, I think they nailed it. All right, with that taken care of, let's get to some of the top news of the week. The Arizona Biltmore Golf Club in Phoenix, Arizona, reopened its estates course September 6th following a nearly 2-month beautification project. The new course, which debuted last December and was designed by the Lehman Design Group and Scottsdale resident Tom Lehman, saw close to 6,000 trees, hedges, and bushes added and numerous playability improvements in the last 60 days. Since mid-July, agronomy teams have planted nearly 400 additional trees, 400 plus hedges, and more than 5,000 shrubs and bushes. New tee boxes and bunkers have also been added, and additional irrigation lines have been placed. The result of the agronomy team's hard work is more attractive course with improved and better defined golf holes. Good on them. Next up, the reimagining of the front nine on Kings North at Myrtle Beach National, long one of the Grand Strand's most popular layouts, is progressing on schedule as the course targets an early October opening. Architect Brandon Johnson is overseeing the two-part project. The back nine will enjoy an overhaul in the summer of 2025 that will transform the experience on the Arnold Palmer design. Brandon Johnson used to work with Arnold Palmer, so he knows a little bit thing or two about the King. Kings North closed on June 3rd to begin the project, and the course's greens have all been restored to their original size, and in some cases expanded, claiming an additional 30,000 square feet of putting surface. The greens have been sprigged with TifEagle Bermuda grass and are growing in nicely with a month remaining before the venerable layout opens. Last but not least, Steve Ekovich, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Sorry, Steven, Executive Managing Director and Partner of Leisure Investment Properties Group, announced the recent sales of two prominent golf clubs, Plantation Palms Golf Club in Land O'Lakes, Florida, and Salem Glen Country Club in Clemens, North Carolina. Both transactions have marked significant milestones for the clubs, with new ownership groups planning substantial renovations to enhance their offerings and community appeal. Plantation Palms Golf Club, designed by a renowned architect Dave Harmon, offers an 18-hole championship golf course featuring TifEagle greens, naturally rolling terrain, and abundant wildlife. The club has been a fixture in the Plantation Palms community, known for its stunning homes and well-maintained course. Salem Glen Country Club, on the other hand, is the only Nicklaus design course in North Carolina's Triad area. It offers an extraordinary golfing experience, I'm told, utilizing the region's natural terrain, which includes 150 feet of elevation changes, 4.5 miles of creeks, and 9 lakes. With a 23,000 square foot clubhouse offering multiple dining options and a premier event venue, Salem Glen has long been recognized for its appeal to golfers and non-golfers, event goers alike. With that taken care of, short, like I say, no back and forth between me and Phil today. So you're stuck with just me. I want to throw it directly to my interview with Mike Karnath, General Manager, COO of Wanakah Country Club in Hamburg, New York. They are celebrating their 125th anniversary this year. Big props. A lot of stuff going on there, and Mike covers it all. So let's get right to it. Hello, and welcome back to the Club and Resort Talks podcast. I'm joined by Mike Karnath, General Manager, COO of Wanakah Country Club. Mike, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. No complaints. Can you first, before we get into the meat of our talk, give us a little 10,000 foot view of Wanakah? What's the club all about?
Yeah, it's a family club, founded in 1899 on the shores of Lake Erie, just south of the city of Buffalo. We have a smaller membership, which the membership wants to keep it there. So they have, access to the course and club. 450 total members, approximately, with 300 primary golfing members and their spouses and families. So we, full golf, we have swim, racket sports, a robust dining program, especially in the summer months. But really was founded by the wealthy in the city of Buffalo that came down to the lake for their summer homes. And we've been in the same location since 1899. And they rebuilt the clubhouse in 1925 and changed the golf course into an 18-hole golf course at that time. Originally, it was the Wanakah Golf Club, and in 1913, the club decided to be more inclusive and became the Country Club. And this year, we were fortunate enough to celebrate our 125th anniversary, which was remarkable. And just hearing the history and stories from some of our very long tenured members, their legacy members, was incredible.
Hey, 125. That is amazing. You hit the century mark. Kudos on you to go another quarter century. That's a real success story. How does that 125th anniversary? I know you guys just celebrated big gala, had a good time this summer. How does that align with the strategic planning, the vision of the club?
Yeah, I mean, we are grateful that the club's been around for 125 years, and to celebrate that, we really wanted to ensure that the club is around another 125 years. So we have a strategic plan. We follow our vision and mission statement to remain amongst the finest private clubs in Western New York, and wanted to make sure that we celebrated that with our membership. And we kicked off the year. I mean, the planning started honestly 3 years ago, but we kicked off the celebrations, Memorial Day weekend. We had a huge kickoff party on Friday night of Memorial Day weekend. Then we had a member blind draw tournament that Saturday, which was a lot of fun. We branded the club with the 125th logo. It was on all the flag sticks, our main flagpole, throughout the club, on cocktail napkins and everywhere else. So merchandise in the pro shop. And this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago, Labor Day weekend, we ended up having a large gala and did a 125th anniversary book for all of our members, plus some other, complimentary gifts that we gave to them to, honor and celebrate this year. Then that Sunday, we ended up having a huge family barbecue. And then the following Tuesday, we did a member appreciation, just cocktail party for those that were donors that helped contribute to the funding of the book and everything. So it really was a special year for the club and just a lot going on. But, one thing that happened in line with that, the club put up a plan for a new irrigation system, a new bunker that went up for vote and passed with the membership in favor of really investing several millions of dollars to ensure that the club and the golf course continue to maintain at the top level that the membership does expect.
Hey, you mentioned that's on my list as far as the irrigation and bunker. What effect will that have, not only with the playability of the golf course, but the overall maintenance? You talk about your superintendent and the staff.
Yep.
Going to make things easier, I would imagine.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's our main goal. Our superintendent does a phenomenal job. He has three assistants. The one assistant, though, is constantly working on repairs with the irrigation system. And I think this will allow him to really, hone in on more of the fine details once that goes in. That's scheduled to begin in 2027. So right now we passed it now, so we can begin the funding for it to ensure that, we don't have to borrow very much, if at all, with that project. But also to allow our superintendent and the team to really control the water a little bit better. Right now, we have a 2-row system, so we're going to go with a 3-row, so there's more consistency throughout the entire golf course. But also the amounts of water and the types of heads that we put on will ensure that the course remains firm and fast. And there's a lot of hand watering that takes a lot of time right now, so this will hopefully free up some more time to focus on more on those little details throughout the entire course.
Well, I know sustainability is a huge buzzword across the industry. Great on you guys for addressing this ahead of any, well, not ahead of issues. Apparently, you have one superintendent that's been working on it an awful lot. But
Yeah.
talk also about when you're talking about additions, pickleball and a pool renovation, I believe, also.
Yeah, we completed a major pool renovation earlier this year. That was a priority that we got done. We redid the entire decking, all new awnings, all new furniture, um, new lifts that were put in, new fencing, new safety netting. Given that it's an old club, we're rather tight in terms of our space, so our pool and the driving range are right next to each other. So we have to, make sure that that remains that if errant shots go, they don't hit anybody in the pool. So that was a bigger project than we thought of originally, but something that we completed. We had to expand our deck. Our membership has grown so much that we needed to double the deck size really to ensure that there was enough seats and enough space for all of the, especially during the junior programs, all the lessons for the parents to sit while the kids are swimming, and then also on the weekends and holidays when the pool is very robust. We did a renovation to the second floor of our clubhouse this past winter as well, where we added some communal rooms for workspace. We're seeing more and more members working from home. So, set up some areas there where they can work with some smart technology. And then also an area for kids to have a kids room, a dedicated kids room where they can come and play and hang out throughout the course of the year, and when their parents are here on property. And then we're installing right now 3 new pickleball courts that we've seen pickleball really blow up. I think it's becoming a requirement of clubs almost. They have pickleball and not just nice to have. We started a pickleball league with the one court we had, and the demand was so high. We had to build 3 new ones to make sure we had enough capacity for that demand, and then just regular play that is always ongoing too. So the club used to be like an old just golf club, but we're seeing more and more use in all the different areas that we have now, including besides pickleball, we have a very active bocce league that plays. We have 40 couples that play every other Wednesday. We have a regular racket program with tennis. We added a golf simulator to the club when we did a major renovation back in 2020 to the clubhouse, and we see play all throughout the winter during the non-golfing season in there. So it brings people to the club a lot more, and given all those things, we're seeing an uptick in food and beverage usage quite a bit.
Well, you'd mentioned used to be a golf club, and I'm sure it was mostly dad coming to the golf, playing 18 holes, having a couple cocktails, going back home. Now you got mom, you got the kids, you got grandma coming along, bring Nana, the babysitter, right? So a lot,
Yeah.
lot going on for you, for the whole family. And I'm glad you guys keeping the pool and the driving range as separate as can be. Uh, that,
Yeah.
that, that's a good thing. You had mentioned wanting to keep the membership fairly tight, wanting to be a small, intimate club, but you are still growing because of families. How are you attracting new members, and not only new members, but the right new members that are going to fit with the community you have?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think, our product and our brand speaks for itself. We don't obviously advertise being a 501(c)(7). People come out, they experience the club. We have a 4-day invitational every year, and it seems like every single year following that invitational, one of the guests that plays in that joins the club. So it's just we are, we're drawing people from, I'd say we're more of a destination club given our location. We do have obviously a community around us, but 180 degrees of our land is water. It's the lake, so we are literally right on the lake, and so we draw more people from the city, and that's kind of what the club was founded on. It was founded on the wealthy from the city of Buffalo back at the turn of the century coming to their summer homes, and we continue to see that now with more of our newer younger members coming from the city of Buffalo and other areas and communities in Western New York that join and really view us as the family club to join, where you can have, it's not just the male that joins, it's we do kids activities, we do women's events all the time, and I think once mom and the kids are rooted, it's tough for dad to leave the club.
Yeah, very much so. You'd mentioned also, I know that you guys hosted the New York State Amateur this year, which is huge. It's a big deal. The best golfers from across the state coming in to play your course. I mean, one, how did you prepare to host such, I mean, as an elite event? And also, what do you think that did for the club?
Yeah, I think it brought the club into the spotlight throughout the golfing community, throughout the state. The New York State Golf Association was wonderful to work with. We actually signed an agreement with them back in 2017 to lock this in. We last hosted the state am in 1999, the club's centennial year, and celebrating the 125th, we wanted to line that up again. So we had all the premier golfers here, but working with the state, we had a small committee that planned for it. We had several members that volunteered, and without our members that were willing to volunteer, we wouldn't be able to host and give the hospitality that we love to give to all of our guests that were here. And we had, again, people from downstate, local golfers all came into the area. Weather was a little iffy. We had a tornado warning, which is very uncommon here during the one day. So it was a rain out, but we ended up getting 3 of the 4 rounds in and concluding the tournament still on schedule. So it was a lot of fun to do it and see some of the golfers come out and really experience our gem of a golf course.
From a maintenance point of view, was there a lot that changed to host these golfers? Or is it always firm and fast, greens running pretty quick?
Yeah, I would say that the conditions were pretty consistent with what they are normally. We did amp up the greens a little bit for it, but given the amount of rain that we had the one day, it slowed them back down to where they normally are for the membership. But the grounds crew spent some extra time leading into it, making sure the bunkers were taken care of. Just again, the fine details everywhere, from the walking paths to the approaches, just all that detail. And they would come back every single evening during the event, the same way they do for our invitationals, just to make sure that that extra care is given to the golf course versus your normal regular weekly play.
Hey, quick shift here to behind the scenes. Staffing is an issue across the country, not just with the club, the hospitality industry, but across the board.
Yep.
How do you not only attract, but also retain when you find that really good employee? How do you keeping them there at the club?
Yeah, I think it's about trying to create the best working environment possible for them, making sure that we're taking care of our staff the same way we take care of our members. Happy staff make happy members, and um, being flexible with them with their hours. I think that is probably the biggest change that I continue to see. Facing when I first got into the business, it was okay. You work as much as you have to, and you're the first one there, and you're the last one out every day until your boss leaves. And now it's like, okay, younger people, they need weekends off, they need time away, and working more than 40 hours is it's a challenge, for the younger generation coming in, just because they maybe haven't worked that level, or there hasn't been that demand that there once was. So I think that's important for us, hiring the right amount of people, but offering great benefits to them, and making sure that they feel welcome and comfortable. And we have a very friendly environment here where we care about each other.
So, I don't know if there's one department that's more important than the other. Everything works off, you have a great golf department, but you have a crappy culinary, fall apart.
Yeah,
Culinary,
right.
golf,
Yep.
right on to the general manager has to be top notch. One kind of unsung hero of the club, I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, the membership marketing department. They're behind the scenes, but they're putting you guys out for front and center with the members and prospective members. How are you guys communicating with your members, keeping them up to date on not only the events that are happening, but something in the future, maybe getting some feedback? How are you doing
Yep.
that,
Yeah,
from week to week, day to day?
it's a really hot topic. It's important to make sure that communication is going. Given the size of our club, we're a smaller club. Membership is really something I take on always. Like, so when we bring in a new member, I'm always the first one, to meet with them. I give them a nice, 2 hour plus orientation, show them and introduce them to all the different departments and all the different staff. But we have our accounting department, our administrative assistant really lead the charge with a lot of those communications, as well as even our golf shop and grounds crew, where they'll post things on social media. Facebook, Instagram are two bigger items that we try to communicate to our membership through. But also we do weekly emails, we do text messages. We still are traditional with the monthly newsletter. And I always say, during that orientation period, and even to the staff, that the newsletter is really our North Star. It's 15 to 20 pages every single month, but it's a lot of images. It keeps the members engaged by looking through the pictures and all the different events that we're hosting. So we really try to highlight the past events, but also promote the upcoming events to make sure that we're ticking all the boxes so everyone has something to do at the club every single month, whether it be in season or during the shoulder or off seasons.
Yeah. So I'll get you out on this one. I do this to every single person. So if you've seen the podcast, if you haven't, shame on you. But if you've seen the podcast, you
Right.
know what's coming. I want you to get your crystal ball out. I want you to look down the road 5 years, 10 years down into the future. What you see at Wanakah? Something new happening? Ever changing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I continue to see usage and engagement being really high. I think that remote working is, we're seeing it come back a little bit to more people in the office, but we're still seeing more flexibility. And I think, like as we touched on earlier, with staffing, you have to be flexible. And I think organizations and businesses are being more flexible with their staff, so they are coming to their club. It really is their second home. And it really is their place to be. And we even see it where, like, what's today? It's Wednesday, and kids are back in school, but a couple parents are playing hooky, or they're out here having lunch, together, just to get caught up on times, because the kids are back in school, and they have some one-on-one time where they can spend at the club. Is their place to go. And I think that's the one thing that we like to continue to try to focus on, is making the membership feel really welcomed. Here, I think there's a lot of options that are out there in terms of dining and where your recreational dollars are going to go. But if we can continue to keep our membership rooted and engaged, I think that they'll want to be here all the time. And that's what we've seen. Our revenues have gone through the roof. Just the membership totals have grown to where we have a large wait list. So all positives that are happening, and want to continue to see that. I mean, there's so many uncertainties out there, so you don't know what the economy is going to do. You don't know what's going to happen with foreign policy and the election that's coming up. But those obviously have impacts on the clubs and what people decide to do and where the club falls, on their list of priorities. And to me, I want to be a club where there is no other choice. You can't give the club up. It is your second thing besides your house, essentially, that you would want to give up. So
Beautiful, beautiful. Very well said. Thank you, Mike, for your time, and go Bills.
go Bills, Rob. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You got a big game tomorrow. Looking forward to it.